Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. I am, apart from being a woman, last time I checked, I'm also an Arab, an Egyptian, a Muslim, and many other identities in between, which means that I simply have to roar. And I'm inspired by many women and men in the audience, and I always wonder what on earth I'm doing on platforms like this, and why did they think to choose me. So bear with me as I try to explain what I think, in my very humble perspective, happen to be some of the major social justice issues that women in particular seem to confront. But I would condition that by saying women confront nothing that men confront also. There is plenty that we all confront, whatever the gender that we have is. And it is simultaneous, it is consistent, it is systematic, and it doesn't go away, amazingly. But we learn how to be stronger in confronting it. So, two main aspects that I think are very critical. I believe we are in the midst of a misogynistic backlash. And it is massive, it is diverse, and it has many different tentacles. It is not only a backlash by men against women. It is a backlash by some women against women and many men against men and women. It is not only a backlash that is social or cultural or traditional. It is a backlash that also has religious nuances and intonations. It is not only a backlash that does not avoid technology, but it is actually ingrained with and included in the technological that we celebrate because we need in order to communicate. We have heard enough of cyberbullying. We have heard enough of harassment that happens through the very same technologies that we laudate and we need. So therefore, the misogynistic backlash also has technological intonations. We speak a great deal of artificial intelligence. Little do we know, or have we thought, about how the very genes of that artificial intelligence inculcate within them a DNA that is misogynistic and patriarchal. We are experiencing a misogynistic backlash in terms of knowledge. We have an arrogance of ignorance that is of remarkable proportions. Those who believe that they can know everything simply by virtue of their what? Where they are, where they come from, their gender. But we do have an arrogance of ignorance amongst us, so much so that we would label truth as fake. And we have a misogynistic backlash in the political space. Politics is misogynistic, plenty. We don't need to look at only one part of the world. We can look at each and every continent around the world. And there will be at least one leader, elected leader, whose misogyny can only make us stay up at night, night after night. And that was only one. Remember I said two, right? The second aspect is an intersectionality of poverty, war, and environmental degradation. And they are very much linked and intersectional. We cannot speak of one without the other. For poverty leads to war in many cases, and war leads to more poverty. And our environment, the very ecosystem that we breathe, we drink, we feed from, is deeply endangered. And when we have that trio, that unholy trinity of the intersectionality between poverty, war, and environmental degradation, guess what the face of it tends to be? What the majority of those who suffer it tend to be? Girls and women. Because the face of poverty, the face of environmental degradation, and the face of war and its deeply, deeply hurtful outcomes is the female. And it is important for us to realize this, not because men do not suffer, of course they do, but because the large majority of those who suffer tend to be the girls and the women. And simply by virtue of that basic statistic, we need to realize that precisely because of this, we have a continuation of the same old, same old. But guess what? I think, if I may not preempt the second question, we are much stronger as a result of knowing and naming that which is hurtful. Thank you.